Welcome to Classic Books Recaps, where the greatest stories ever written are brought back to life in minutes. Whether you're revisiting a favorite or discovering a new classic, you've come to the right place. Remember to hit subscribe and join us on a journey through the greatest novels ever written. Now, let's dive into today's story. Hansel and Gretel by Brothers Grimm. Once upon a time, at the edge of a great and shadowy forest, there lived a poor woodcutter with his wife and his 2 children. The boy was called Hansel, and the girl was named Gretel. The family had little to their name, barely enough to survive on, and each day was a struggle. But then came a terrible famine, one so harsh that the woodcutter couldn't even put bread on the table. One night, as the children lay sleeping, their stepmother whispered to the woodcutter by candlelight. "There is no more food," she said sharply. "We must take the children into the forest and leave them. Otherwise, we will all starve." The woodcutter was horrified. "No," he said. "I cannot do that to my own flesh and blood." But she was relentless. "Then you will dig 4 graves, 2 for them and 2 for us." At last, worn down by fear and hunger, the woodcutter gave in. What they didn't know was that Hansel, who had not been able to sleep, had overheard everything. After their parents had gone to bed, Hansel quietly slipped outside. The moon was bright, and he gathered smooth white pebbles from the garden. He filled his pockets, then crept back to bed. At dawn, the stepmother woke the children. "We're going to the forest to gather firewood," she said with a forced smile. As they walked into the trees, Hansel lagged behind, secretly dropping the white stones one by one to mark the trail. Deeper and deeper they went, until they reached a small clearing. "Wait here," the stepmother said. "We'll return for you soon." But night fell and no one came. Gretel wept, but Hansel whispered, "Don't worry. When the moon rises, we'll follow the path home." Sure enough, when the moonlight touched the forest floor, the stones shone like breadcrumbs of light, and the children followed them all the way home. The woodcutter was overjoyed to see them again, but the stepmother was furious. She said nothing, but the next night, she locked the door so Hansel couldn't collect more stones. The next morning, the children were taken into the forest once again. This time, Hansel had crumbled a piece of bread in his pocket and dropped crumbs as they walked. But when they tried to follow the trail back, they found nothing. The birds of the forest had eaten every last crumb. This time, they were truly lost. Hansel and Gretel wandered for days. They ate berries, drank from streams, and slept under trees. They were weak with hunger and beginning to lose hope. On the 3rd morning, they stumbled into a part of the forest they had never seen before. Suddenly, the scent of something sweet wafted through the air. Following it, they came upon a sight so strange and delightful they could hardly believe their eyes. Before them stood a little house made entirely of sweets. The walls were gingerbread, the roof was cake, and the windows were made of clear sugar. Overcome with hunger, the children began to eat. Hansel broke off a bit of the roof, and Gretel nibbled at the window pane. As they munched, a soft voice called from inside. "Nibble, nibble, little mouse. Who's that nibbling at my house?" Startled, the children froze. But a sweet-looking old woman opened the door and smiled warmly. "Come inside, dears," she said. "You must be starving." The children followed her in. The house was even more wonderful on the inside: warm beds, plates of food, and jars of sweets. That night, Hansel and Gretel slept soundly, thinking their troubles were finally over. But they were wrong. The old woman was not kind at all. She was a witch, one who built her candy house to lure children so she could eat them. The next morning, the witch revealed her true self. With a shriek, she grabbed Hansel and locked him in a cage. "Fatten him up," she ordered Gretel. "And clean the house. I'll eat him when he's plump." Days passed. Each morning, the witch would feel Hansel's finger to check his weight. But Hansel had found a trick. He held out a chicken bone instead. The witch was nearly blind and couldn't tell the difference. Still, she grew impatient. "He's taking too long to fatten up. I'll eat him tomorrow, fat or not." The next morning, the witch barked, "Light the oven. I'll bake bread before I roast your brother." Gretel lit the fire, but when the witch told her to check if the oven was hot enough, Gretel played dumb. "I don't know how," she said. "Can you show me?" Grumbling, the witch leaned into the oven. Quick as lightning, Gretel pushed her inside and slammed the door. The witch screamed and thrashed, but Gretel held the door shut. At last, the forest was silent. Gretel ran to Hansel and freed him. The siblings hugged, crying with joy. As they explored the witch's house, they found something remarkable: piles of gold coins, glittering jewels, and shining treasures. They filled their pockets and a small sack with as much as they could carry. Then, together, they set off through the forest, hoping to find their way home. Along the way, they crossed a small lake with the help of a kind duck. Step by step, they retraced their journey. After many days, they spotted something familiar through the trees. It was their father's cottage. The woodcutter ran out and embraced them. He had been miserable without them, and in their absence, the wicked stepmother had died. When Hansel and Gretel emptied their sack of gold and jewels, the family's poverty was gone forever. From that day forward, they lived together in peace and comfort. And so, the story of Hansel and Gretel ends not just as a tale of fear and hunger, but as a testament to cleverness, courage, and the bond between siblings. In the darkest forest, hope still shines. And sometimes, even the worst journeys can lead you home. If you enjoyed this recap of Hansel and Gretel, don't forget to like and subscribe. And hit the bell for more classic books recaps. Let us know which story you'd like next in the comments.